my brother, Honorable Mr. Justice Ramchandram Rao Garu, Judge, High Court for the state of Telangana. My two brothers, and it is always good to see them, Honorable Mr. Justice S.V. Bhatt and Honorable Mr. Justice M. Sitaram Murthy, judges of the High Court of Andhra Pradesh. Mr. Rajiv Bansal, the Country Director of Operations. Mr. M. Narasimha Murthy, the Executive Vice Chairman of the Global Indian International School. Mr. Anuradha Joel, the Principal of the school. Mr. Santosh Reddy, the Law Secretary, Government of Telangana. The learned teachers, the beautiful children from our most beautiful state of Kashmir. Dear parents, the students of the school, ladies and gentlemen. It is indeed a pleasure to attend the 10th Annual Day Celebration 2019 of the Global Indian International School. The 10th Annual Day naturally sets up the first milestone for the school, and I'm sure it will have many more decades, if not centuries, to blossom, to grow, and to project itself as one of the finest schools of the state, if not of the nation. It is certainly a distinct privilege to address not only the students and the parents of this school, but most importantly, the beautiful guest that we have from the paradise on earth, Kashmir itself. The annual show, as all of us know, showcases the multifaceted personalities of our young students, and we have already witnessed their multifaceted personalities. I'm sure in the remaining part of this evening, they will enchant our hearts and enlighten our minds with their beautiful songs, dances, skits. I'd like to congratulate the teachers for the tremendous efforts that they've made in training and imparting the beautiful graces to the dancers, to the beautiful articulation to those who are speaking, and to the beautiful emotions that they emote on the stage. Once upon a time, somebody asked my mother, "What are you doing today?" And pat came my mother's reply, "I'm performing the most difficult job on earth." And we all three brothers looked at our mother. She said, "The most difficult job on earth is to bring up children." I'm sure it's an emotion that all of us share in common, perhaps may not ever articulate it, but we always feel it at the heart and in our minds. Therefore, I have always admired the teachers. While we, the parents, get tired of looking after just one or two, I wonder where the teachers get this tremendous strength and patience to deal with 20 of our brats who we send from our homes to their schools. Therefore, I first like to bow down, and no wonder in our culture, in our civilization, we have said that the Guru is next to the gods. So therefore, I bow down to all the teachers of this school for the tremendous patience they have shown, for enlightening, for bringing out the talents in our children. Our children are almost like the soap stones that we lend to them. It is the duty of the teachers to chisel, to polish, and to hand back our children and back to our society as beautiful pieces of sculptures and artifacts. Many of you may not know, so let me introduce myself a bit. I had the distinction and the privilege of growing up in my young days in the United States of America. In fact, that's where all my education is from. And when I came back to India in 1980, I realized there's a vast difference. The way the children in America are brought up and the way we tend to bring our children in India. And let me share some of my experiences with you, the way children are brought up in America and the way we bring up our children in our country. If you look around the world, you'll find that because of the strong family system that we have, our children are certainly emotionally one of the strongest children in the world. You can see their strong emotional support not only in our own countries, but even when we migrate, it is our parents who stand by us like a rock of Gibraltar. However, when it comes to the psychology of our children, at times I find they are not up to the mark compared to the children from China, from Europe, and certainly not from the United States. And I often wonder, why is it that our children lack a sense of confidence? In the last 30 years, 35 years that I've been in this country, I've noticed a few things that I would just like to share and hope that it will start a process of thinking in each one of us. Surprisingly, when I landed in 1980 in Delhi, the capital of the state, and when I've traveled extensively through our country, I find that there's a lack of sensitivity, lack of identity amongst all of us. We are happier if we can ape the West. We are happier if our children watch Donald Duck and Daffy Duck. We are happier to leave our kids these days watching Disney movies, if not the Western movies. And yet I believe as a parent that gives them a different value system, brings them up in a different cultural setting. And when they grow up as citizens of the country, they might find themselves a bit of a misfit. Therefore, I would like to share the first idea. Please strengthen the sense of identity, and the reason being, while I was growing up in America, everyone would look down at us because we were non-whites, we were brown-skinned, and we came from a very poor country. A lot of my friends in America would make fun of the fact that I was from a very poor country. And yet, I would tell my American friends, you are a citizen of a country which is only 200 years old, not older than the house that I have in my village. The house in my village is 300 years old, and I proudly proclaim to the world at large that I'm a citizen of the oldest civilization on planet Earth, a civilization that has lasted, prospered, blossomed, and contributed to the civilizations of the world, called the Indian civilization. While the civilizations of the Greeks, the Romans, the Egyptians, and the Chinese have all disappeared, that we are the living example of the oldest civilization on planet Earth. When many of my American students and American friends would laugh at the odd gods that we Indians tend to worship, I would tell them that when we made our gods, we did not make our gods looking like a cross. We made our gods with a sense of philosophy, with a sense of dynamism. So when you look at our gods, which to the American friends of mine would look more like octopuses, I would tell them, the reason why my Lord Vishnu is blue because the sky is blue. If I have to say that the God is present in every place, what better symbol can I use than the blue color of the sky itself? And when my friends would ask me, what is the bedrock and the force, and the reason why you have lasted for 5,000 years, I would tell them a secret. And the secret I like to share with all of you. The secret and what distinguishes us from the rest of the world is, if you read the Western history, you'll find wherever the Western man has gone, whether it was the white man who went to Australia, or the white man who went to America, or the Romans who marched through Europe, they annihilated everything that came in their way. We in India, we have a different philosophy altogether. When we marched, when our armies marched, when our tribes moved, when people poured from the western part, called the Aryans, and they poured into the plains of North India, when the Aryans came down to the south, we assimilated. We assimilated everyone whom we met with open arms and warm hearts. When people came to the shores of our country, we welcomed them. Whether it were the Jews who ran away from the persecution under the Romans, whether it was the Parsis who ran away from the persecutions, whether it was the Christians, whether it was Islam, but everyone was welcome like a typical Indian housewife who continues to welcome every single guest who crosses the threshold into our house. It is this which is the bedrock of our civilization. It is this what keeps us prospering and growing. And I'm sure if it is this philosophy that we were to teach to our children, as rightly put by the first set of students who came here, they said, what are our life skills? In few words, the life skill of an Indian civilization, it's its liberal mind to accept every single thought, every single philosophy, to welcome every single religion, to welcome every single community. That is what has made us the strongest civilization on planet Earth. If you wish to know how to live life, there are only 2 words or 3 words at best that describe the secret of life. The first is sensitivity. Sensitivity not towards your own feelings, not to be over touchy as most of us have become now, but sensitivity to the plight of others who are around you. The second word is compassion. Compassion not only towards those who are your near and dear ones, not only towards your family members, but compassion towards every single living being who is around you. Whether it be a dog, whether it be a tree, whether it be a flower, whether it be our lakes, whether it be our rivers or our mountains. That sense of compassion. And the third word is kindness. The kindness towards everyone who is around us, the ability to understand their pain and agony before we had tried to understand our difficulties and concerns. If you follow these 3 words, and these 3 words certainly are not mine, they are the basic foundation of every religion, of every philosopher, of every civilization, of every nation. I'm sure if you were to carry these 3 words, you would not have any problem in adjusting to any of the difficulties that you may meet in your long journey ahead. I'd like to congratulate the organizers, this school. I'd like to thank all of you for giving me such a patient hearing. Thank you very much. Jai Hind.